The shuttle's landing thrusters hummed as it touched down on the crystalline platform of Nexus Prime Academy, the most prestigious institution in the Galactic Federation. Ambassador Krelthor of the Zentari Empire watched through the observation deck as the human transport settled into its berth. Another primitive species seeking to prove themselves, he thought dismissively. The human arrives today, his aide chittered nervously. The one from Earth. Krelthor's 4 eyes narrowed. Humans. The newest species to join the Federation, barely 3 generations removed from their own planetary wars. They had no business here, among the elite children of civilizations that had conquered the stars millennia ago. The shuttle door hissed open, and a young woman stepped out, carrying a single duffel bag. She wore simple clothing, denim pants and a worn leather jacket, and her brown hair was tied back in a practical ponytail. She looked around the magnificent academy grounds with an expression of polite interest, as if she were touring a museum rather than standing at the threshold of galactic greatness. Her name was Emily Rhodes, and she was nobody. Or so everyone believed. The orientation hall buzzed with multilingual chatter as hundreds of students from across the galaxy gathered. Emily sat alone in the back row, drawing curious stares. Humans were still a novelty. Their admission to the Federation was recent, and many species still questioned whether they deserved a seat at the table. "Is that the Terran?" a Valkyrie student hissed to her companion, her serpentine features contorted in disgust. "I heard they only discovered faster-than-light travel by accident." Pathetic. Emily heard every word. She said nothing. The headmaster, a towering Draconii with scales that shimmered like oil on water, began his address. "You are the future of the Federation. Each of you represents the finest your civilization has to offer. Here, you will learn strategy, diplomacy, and the arts of war and peace that have kept our alliance strong for 10,000 years." After the ceremony, students were assigned to combat training groups. Emily found herself paired with Krelthor's nephew, Vexenar, a hulking Zentari warrior who stood nearly 8 feet tall and had won 3 planetary championships in zero-gravity combat. "Try not to embarrass your species too badly, human," Vexenar rumbled, his translator rendering his words into cold, mechanical English. "I will go easy on you." The training dome materialized around them, a holographic battlefield set on an asteroid field. Vexenar was armed with traditional Zentari plasma blades. Emily carried nothing. "You may choose your weapon," the instructor announced. "I'm good," Emily said quietly. Laughter rippled through the watching students. Even the instructors exchanged amused glances. Vexenar charged, his massive frame belying surprising speed. His blade sang through the air, aimed to stop just short of Emily's neck, a demonstration of superiority rather than an attempt to harm. Emily moved. It wasn't the clumsy dodge of an amateur or the desperate scramble of the overwhelmed. It was something else entirely. She flowed like water, her body shifting through angles that seemed impossible. Vexenar's blade cut empty air. Before he could recover, Emily's hand touched a pressure point on his arm, a nerve cluster no human should have known existed in Zentari anatomy. Vexenar's arm went numb. The plasma blade clattered to the ground. 30 seconds later, the simulation ended with Vexenar pinned, Emily's knee on his chest, her expression unchanged, polite, almost apologetic. Silence. Over the following weeks, Emily Rhodes became an enigma. In tactical simulations, she outmaneuvered students whose species had been practicing warfare for millennia. In xenobiology, she identified pathogens that stumped even the Valkyrie, whose civilization had mastered genetic engineering before humans discovered fire. In quantum mechanics, she solved equations that made the professors blink in confusion at her methodology. "Where did you learn this?" Professor Tkon asked after Emily had demonstrated an understanding of fold space mathematics that exceeded graduate-level coursework. "My father liked to read," Emily answered with a shrug. But it was her performance in the Crisis Command simulation that changed everything. The scenario was legendary, a diplomatic nightmare involving 7 species, a collapsing star, and limited resources. In 300 years, no first-year student had ever achieved a passing score. Emily saved everyone. She negotiated treaties in languages she shouldn't have known, coordinated evacuation protocols with military precision, and solved a star collapse equation that had stumped the Academy's best minds. When the simulation ended, her score wasn't just passing. It was perfect. Ambassador Krelthor demanded a private meeting with the headmaster. "This is impossible. Run a full background check on the human. She must be cheating." The investigation revealed something far more interesting. Emily Rhodes's father was listed as Michael Rhodes, civilian contractor. Her mother was deceased. No military service. No political connections. No prestigious lineage. But then a junior researcher found something buried in Earth's classified archives, accessible only through a fortunate security loophole. Michael Rhodes wasn't just a contractor. He was the contractor, the anonymous architect of Earth's first contact protocols, the man who had designed humanity's defensive strategies when the Federation arrived. He'd been a ghost even to his own government, a polymath who spoke 17 Earth languages and had taught himself Galactic Standard before first contact was official. And Emily's mother? Commander Jessica Alvarez, one of Earth's most decorated Special Forces operatives, who had died protecting a Federation ambassador during an attempted coup. Emily Rhodes wasn't some random human. She was the daughter of Earth's 2 greatest minds, raised in secret, trained from birth in everything her parents knew. She was humanity's ace. And they'd sent her to the galaxy's premier academy not to learn, but to show them what humans could become. When confronted, Emily finally smiled. A real smile, not the polite mask she'd worn for weeks. "You're right," she told Ambassador Krelthor. "I'm nobody special. Just a kid from Philadelphia. But that's the thing about humans. We're all nobodies. Until we're not." She left him standing there, speechless, as she headed to her next class. Behind her, the galaxy was beginning to understand, humanity hadn't arrived at the table by accident. They'd earned their seat.